Hi everyone, welcome to the Organic Chemistry Revision Lecture Series presented by Neet Shala. In this chapter, in this lecture, we'll be discussing the chapter Alcohols, Phenols and Ethers. This chapter will be taken up in two lectures. In the first part, we will be discussing about the preparation and physical properties of alcohols, phenols and ethers. So let's get started. The first topic that we have to discuss over here is the structures of the functional groups. So if I take the functional groups, we have ROH, that is alcohol. So we have ROH. Second one is AROH, that is phenol. And then we have ROR. So the most important question that we can get related to the functional group is the bond angle comparison. Now the bond angle will be minimum for alcohol. The reason is because we have R, O and H, and this oxygen has two lone pair. And because of this two lone pair, there is repulsion between the lone pair, and as a result of which this bond angle is reduced to nearly 108 degree. Whereas if I talk about AROH, what is happening? This is a little more bulkier group, and here the hybridization is sp2, the carbon onto which the oxygen atom is attached, that is sp2 hybridized, and as a result of which the bond angle is slightly higher to be nearly, as you can see over here, it is 109 degree. Now if I take the next molecule, that is ether, so if I take an ether, we can see that the bond angle is little more greater, and that is coming out to be 117 degree. So the bond angle will be in the order ROH, next will be AROH, and the last will be ROR. So this is important from this particular section. And in all these cases, we can see all the alcohols have an sp3 hybridized carbon attached to an sp3 hybridized oxygen. This is important. And also we have in ethers, we have one oxygen is bonded to two sp3 hybridized carbon. Whereas if I talk about phenol, we have the oxygen attached to the sp2 hybridized carbon. Now, let us talk about the preparation of alcohols. We can prepare alcohols from a variety of compounds. The first compound is alkene. So, how do we prepare alcohols from alkene? We have a compound like this. We have CH3, CH2, OH. So, I'm going to write it as CH2 and an H here. So, this H and OH, if I am removing, then I will be getting an alkene, right? This is what we have studied over there. Now we have to do the reverse reaction. What is that? CH2 double bond CH2 we are having, and we have to convert it into CH3 CH2 OH. For that, I can add a hydrogen onto this side, and I can add an OH to this side. That is, we have to carry out the addition of water. Now, addition of water cannot happen simply. We need a catalyst. So we are taking H plus ions, or we can take any acid like HCl or H2SO4, etc. as the catalyst. So this is known as acid catalyzed hydration because we are adding a molecule of water. H is going to one side of the double bond and OH is moving on to the other side of the double bond. So we can say it is addition of water in the presence of an acid as a catalyst. Now, which rule is followed over here? We have studied two rules. One is Markovnikov's rule and the other is anti-Markovnikov's rule. Remember that whenever we have water, we are following Markovnikov's rule and not anti-Markovnikov's rule. But if they have given R2O2 or H2O2 or benzoyl peroxide in the arrow, then we have to use anti-Markovnikov's addition. So in the case of symmetrical alkanes, it is not a problem. We can simply add hydrogen to one side and OH to the other side. But in the case of unsymmetrical, like this, in the case of unsymmetrical, what we should do, we have to make the poor more poorer by adding the bulkier group onto that side. That means wherever the hydrogen is less, that is known as the poor side, and onto the poor side we are going to deposit all the bulky groups. So the OH will come over here and the H will come over here because this is a lighter group. Now let us see the next reaction, that is hydroboration oxidation reaction. Process hydroboration oxidation. We are going to add diborane. Now diborane, as you remember, is B2H6, or I can write it as BH3 twice, right? Or I can also say it as BH2H twice. This is another form of representing the same molecule. So we are going to add B2H6 onto this molecule according to anti-Markovnikov's addition. So first step, what is going to happen, we are going to add this molecule. So the hydrogen will go to that side which has lesser number of hydrogen, because anti-Markovnikov's addition is followed over here. So we will be getting this particular molecule CH3 CH2, and here we have a CH2 and a BH2 is attached over there. Now this is reacted with a molecule of the same alkene, and as a result of which we will be getting this molecule here, and we have to treat it again with alkene. So remember, here we have two times of the same molecule. So if I am treating that again with the same alkene, we will be getting 3 times the same molecule, and the maximum covalency of boron is also satisfied. Now we have to treat it with H2O2 in the presence of water and a base. Base is also required, and in the presence of these things, it is getting converted into alcohol. Again, it is anti-Markovnikov's addition. In the last step also, it is anti-Markovnikov's addition. And the byproduct which we are getting over there is orthoboric acid. So this is known as hydroboration oxidation reaction. So we started with a 3 carbon containing alkene, and we are getting a 3 carbon containing alcohol. So this is what is known as hydroboration oxidation. We are getting corresponding alcohol by treating with B2H6, H2O and H2O2. Let us now move forward. This is a paragraph which is given at the end of that hydroboration oxidation. Let's just quickly go through this. Addition of borane to the double bond takes place in such a manner that the boron atoms get attached to the sp2 carbon carrying greater number of hydrogen atoms. So that is known as anti-Markovnikov's addition. The alcohol so formed looks as if it has been formed by the addition of water to the alkene in the same way opposite to the Markovnikov's rule. In this reaction, alcohol is obtained in excellent yield. So this is important. It is against the Markovnikov's rule, or we can say it is anti-Markovnikov's rule. Now let us see how we can prepare from carbonyl compounds. Now this is a very important paragraph. We can get theory questions as well, and also critical thinking questions from here. So let us read this carefully. By the reduction of aldehydes and ketones, we can obtain alcohols. Now aldehydes and ketones are reduced to corresponding alcohols by different methods. First method is addition of hydrogen in the presence of catalysts. What are the catalysts? We have platinum, palladium or nickel. These are finely divided catalysts, and in the presence of these catalysts we are carrying out the process of hydrogenation. That is, this is the reaction, right? We are treating it with H2, and when we are treating it with H2, what is going to happen? This oxygen is now going to break its double bond, and it is going to form a single bond, and to the other side of the carbon we will be getting a, because we have a molecule like this, right? CH and a double bond O. So now this bond is breaking. Onto this side one hydrogen will come and attach, onto this side also one hydrogen will come and attach. So we are getting RCH2OH. This is hydrogenation, addition of hydrogen. It is an addition reaction. For carrying out this reaction, the catalysts are important: platinum, palladium and nickel. These should be finely divided catalysts so that maximum surface area is there and the reaction can be carried out easily. Now we have some reagents here. That is second method of preparation. We can use some reducing agents such as NaBH4 and LiAlH4. This is very important. NaBH4 and LiAlH4. These can be used for carrying out these conversions. If we have an aldehyde, aldehyde will give us primary alcohols, whereas ketones will give us secondary alcohols. Now how is that happening? Why are we not getting any primary alcohol from ketone? If I look at the structure of ketone, we have, this is the structure, right? So when we are carrying out the process of reduction, what is happening is that hydrogen is getting added to these two sides. So one hydrogen will come over here, this hydrogen will come over here. So we are getting a compound like this. This is the compound that we're getting, and that is a secondary alcohol. Whereas if it was an aldehyde, we will write an H here, and here also we will write an H. So this is nothing but RCH2OH. This is RCH2OH, that is a primary alcohol. Now let us talk about the next method of preparation, which is from carboxylic acids and also from esters. Now, as you can see that carboxylic acids and esters, they are having a double bond. Sorry, double oxygen. Two oxygens are there. One oxygen is double bonded to carbon and another is single bonded to carbon. So here what is happening, we have to use a little more stronger reducing agent, and the reagent which is used over here is lithium aluminium hydride, LiAlH4. Lithium aluminium hydride. It can also write it as LaH, lithium aluminium hydride. So here what is happening, we are treating the acid RCOOH. In the presence of LiAlH4, we are getting RCH2OH. That is, one oxygen is getting broken. This bond is getting broken. This oxygen is removed, and in the place of that oxygen we are just putting hydrogen. Oxygen is having a valency of 2, so we will just put 2 hydrogen over there. So we are getting RCH2OH. It's a very simple process. This is the trick to do this questions. Now here we can see that there is a limitation for this reaction. So let us see what is the limitation for this reaction. The major limitation is that LiAlH4 is a very expensive reagent, and as a result of which it can be used for preparing special chemicals only. However, if we have to prepare it commercially, acids are first reduced to alcohols by converting them into esters. So first we are going to convert them into esters. How can we create esters? That we will study in the next lecture. For the time being, just understand a little bit basics of esterification. We are treating a carboxylic acid with an alcohol. Carboxylic acid is treated with an alcohol. So what is happening is that one hydrogen will go from here and an OH is going to go from here, and the remaining part is joined. We will be getting RCOOR dash. This is an ester. Now this ester is treated with hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst. We are getting RCH2OH and R-OH. That is, the bond cleavage is going to happen like this, and this part is going to give rise to the alcohol, and this part is going to give rise to the another alcohol. So we get 2 alcohols over here. Let us now move on to the most interesting compound, that is Grignard reagent. Now, there is a method for learning this Grignard reagent. If you learn the general mechanism, then it is very easy. If you learn this pathway, then for any compound you can attend the questions easily. So I will tell you a simple trick for that. We have carbon double bond oxygen. Here we have one group, here we have another group. We are not specifying here right now. We are going to treat it with RMgX. This RMgX is an organometallic compound, and this organometallic compound is known as Grignard reagent. Now what are we going to do? Here the oxygen is not a good fellow. He is not at all a good fellow. So let us use an emoji here. Okay, let us use this emoji here for oxygen. Now why I have put this emoji is because this person wants all the electrons from the double bond. So he is going to take all the electrons from the double bond. Now what is the condition of our carbon? Carbon is very caring and he is ready to give the electrons, but not willingly. Now the carbon will start crying because it has lost its electron, it has lost all its wealth. So it will start crying and the carbon will be like this, right? So now we have another caring person over here, and that is our R group in the organometallic compound. So what he will say, let us put a suitable emoji for this as well. Let us give this one. He is ready to help everyone. Okay, And this part is a very cunning fellow. He will say, the R group will say, don't worry carbon beta, I will give you electrons. So now this R group is going to donate the electrons to the carbon, as a result of which there is a formation of bond between the carbon and R group. So what is happening? I will just make the arrangement here. We have a carbon and the R group is attached. Now we have a single bond oxygen, and now as soon as this R is ready to give the electrons, this much part will say, if you donate any electrons to carbon, then we will go away. Okay, so these are also very greedy people, because this R is rich in electrons, so these people also will get the benefit of this, right? So now when R is no more, they will not get the benefit. So as a result of which, they will tell, we are going to leave you people. So they are very cunning fellow. So let us use another emoji here. We can use this. They are very cunning fellow. Now what is happening is that all the cunning fellows, that is this and this will join together, and as a result of which we have OMgX. This is an intermediate compound. This is an intermediate compound. Also we can call it as an adduct. Now to this adduct we are going to add water. So when we are adding water, what is happening? The H plus is going to add on this side, and the OH is going to add on this side. Why am I adding it like this? Why not the opposite? I will tell you. Water, as you know, is having a formula H plus OH minus. Now, if this bond is cleaving, this person will be having a delta positive charge and this is having a delta negative charge. So the negative charged species will form a bond with the positively charged species, and the positively charged species will form a bond with the negatively charged species. And as a result of which, this much part is going to move out as MgOHX, and this much part is going to form an alcohol. Now look at the alcohol that is formed over here. The alcohol that is formed over here is something like this. Right? This is what we are having. This is the alcohol that we are having. Now imagine I have an R group here. I have another R group here. I will be getting a tertiary alcohol. Now if both are R groups, then it should be a ketone. So ketone will give rise to a tertiary alcohol. Now if I have an aldehyde here, a general aldehyde here, then I will be getting, we have onto this carbon two alkyl groups are attached. So this is going to be, sorry, this is OH, right? This is OH. So what is happening is that we have a secondary alcohol. So secondary alcohol is given by aldehyde, any aldehyde. But if we need to get primary aldehyde, we have to use a specific aldehyde, and that is methanol. Methanol is going to give us primary alcohol. So this is important. So let us just quickly recap what has happened. The thing that has happened is, we have this oxygen, very greedy person, and he is going to take away all the electrons from the double bond, and as a result of which the carbon is deficit in electrons. So the sharing person, that is the R, is going to donate the electrons to the carbon, and due to this donation, now there is a bond that is formed between, they are having good friendship in between them, and as a result of which they are going to have a friendship between carbon and the R group. So now the greedy people, that is MgX group, that is going to come and attach to the oxygen atom, and as a result of which we get an adduct. Now to this adduct we will add water molecule. We are going to add water molecule, and when we are adding water molecule, the negatively charged part, that is OH minus, is the negatively charged part, that is OH, is going to attach to the magnesium, and the positively charged part, that is hydrogen, is getting added to the O. As a result, we will be getting an alcohol. Now if we are using a primary alcohol, if we need a primary alcohol, we have to use methanol. If we need a secondary alcohol, then we must use any other aldehyde, and if we need a tertiary alcohol, then we will be using a ketone. So this is the important point. And now this is a point which is given in NCERT in the side. So this is important. This is a quick recap. Reaction of Grignard reagent with methanol produces a primary alcohol, with other aldehyde secondary alcohol, and with ketones we get tertiary alcohols. We have a question here. Give the structures and IUPAC names of the products expected from the following reactions. Question number 1, catalytic reduction of butanol. So when we are carrying out the catalytic reduction of butanol, let's just draw the structure of butanol first of all. We have CH3, CH2, CH2, CH double bond O. So this bond is cleaved. Hydrogen will come to this side and hydrogen also will come to this side, and as a result of which we are getting butan 1-ol. Now let us look at the next question. Hydration of propene in the presence of dilute sulfuric acid. If you remember, this is a acid catalyzed hydration, and as a result of which it is addition of water in accordance with Markovnikov's rule. So first let us make the structure of propene. CH3, CH double bond CH2. We have to add water. This is the deficit side. To the deficit side we are going to add OH. To the rich side we will add the hydrogen. Double bond is broken. We will be getting CH3, CHOH, CH3, that is propan 2-ol. Let us now discuss the next question. Reaction of propanone. Propanone means it is a ketone. This is treated with magnesium methyl bromide followed by hydrolysis. So propanone means we have CH3, CH3 double bond O, and we have CH3 MgX. So this is going over here, and the CH3 group is going to attach over here. Then this MgX is going to attach on the oxygen. Hydrolysis will give us MgOHX, and whatever is left over here, if you're joining, we will be getting a tertiary alcohol, and the tertiary alcohol will have the formula CH3 thrice COH, and that is 2-methyl propan 2-ol. Let us now move on to the physical properties of alcohols. So before that we will just look at the preparation of phenols, and after that we will come to the physical properties. Now there are 4 methods of preparation of phenols which is discussed in NCERT. So we will stick on these 4. The first one is from haloarenes, which we have already discussed in the previous chapter. We are taking chlorobenzene, and this chlorobenzene is treated with NaOH at 623 Kelvin, 300 atmosphere. What is happening is that this NaO group is going to substitute over here, and the chlorine is moving with the hydrogen as HCl. Now this molecule is reacting with the HCl that is present in the solution, and as a result of which what is going to happen, the Na is moving out with the Cl to form NaCl, and the hydrogen is substituted over there to get OH. So this is phenol. Very simple reaction. Second reaction is we are taking benzene and we are going to treat it with oleum. We are getting SO3H. This process is known as sulfonation. And now this benzene sulfonic acid is treated with NaOH in the presence of H+. So what is happening is we get the OH substituted over here and we get the phenol again. Let us now move on to the next one, that is from diazonium salt. In the last chapter we have discussed what is diazotization. So by the process of diazotization, aniline, that is benzene with NH2, is converted into benzene diazonium chloride, that is N2Cl. Now that is treated with warm water will give us phenol along with byproducts, that is N2 and HCl. Let us now talk about the last method, which is the most famous or the most worldwide method of preparation of phenol, that is from cumene. Now what is cumene? Cumene is basically isopropyl benzene. Isopropyl benzene is known as cumene. That means we have a benzene ring, and onto the benzene ring we have a carbon. Onto this carbon we have 2 methyl groups. So this is known as isopropyl group. Isopropyl group attached to the benzene. This is why propyl benzene, or its common name is cumene. First, we are going to carry out the oxidation of. When we are carrying out the oxidation of cumene to this carbon, to this particular carbon, we are going to add 2 oxygen atoms. As a result of which we get cumene hydroperoxide, that is this. And now what are we going to do is we need this OH group. So we are going to remove the remaining part, and that is going to move out as CH3COCH3, and we are left with a phenol here. So these are the different methods of preparation of phenol. Now let us see the physical properties of alcohols and phenols. The first physical property is boiling point. The 2 points that we have to remember is it will increase with the increase in the number of carbon atoms, and it will decrease with the increase in branching of the carbon chain because of the decrease in van der Waals forces with increase in surface area. This we have been discussing for the last 2-3 chapters. The OIS group in alcohols and phenols is involved in intermolecular hydrogen bonding. As you can see over here, there is intermolecular hydrogen bonding in both these molecules, and as a result of which the boiling points of alcohols and phenols are higher in comparison to the other classes of compounds such as hydrocarbons, ethers, haloalkanes, and haloarenes of comparable molecular masses. So this is an important thing. The maximum is for maximum boiling point is for alcohols and phenols compared to the other molecules. So this is the most important physical property, and let us now talk about the next physical property, that is solubility. Now when we talk solubility, the solubility of alcohols and phenols in water is due to their ability to form hydrogen bonds with water molecules. It can form hydrogen bonds with, and if it can form hydrogen bonds with water, is that there is solubility, and this solubility decreases with increase in size of the alkyl or aryl groups. So this is important. When the size of the alkyl or the aryl group is increasing, what is happening? The solubility is going to decrease. So the lower groups, lower molecular mass alcohols, they are miscible with water in all proportions. This is important. Let us now discuss a question related to arrange the following set of compounds in the order of their increasing boiling points: pentan, butan, butan 2-ol, ethanol, propanol, methanol. First, check the number of carbon. We have a 5 carbon, 4 carbon here, 4 carbon here, 2 carbon here, 3 carbon here, and 1 carbon here. So the least is for methanol, then comes ethanol, then comes propanol. Now the thing is with these two. Check for branching. Branching is more in butan 2-ol, and as a result of it, that will have lower boiling point, and then will come butan 1-ol, and finally it will be pentan 1-ol. Next, and one contain pentanal and CE. So we have an alcohol, hydrocarbon, aldehyde. So highest is for alcohol, next is for aldehyde, next is for ether, and least is for. So we have another questions here. Yes. Show how the following alcohols are prepared by the reaction of a suitable Grignard reagent on the methanol. Okay. So this much part should be there. We have to keep the RCH2OH group aside because we have methanol, right? Since we have methanol arrived at the complete step, so that it is easy for you to understand, we have C double bond O, sorry, C double bond O. This is treated with RMgX. Now this group is coming and attaching over here, so we'll get the adduct. What is the adduct? Adduct is C single bond O, MgX, and we have an R here. This much group is moving out as MgOHX, so we are left with this, right? And what is the corresponding? We have methanol here, right? We have a methanol here, so this is H and this is also H. Now we have to compare this molecule. This is same as RCH2OH, so we have to compare this with this, right? So what is the R group? The R group is going to be this isopropyl group. So we are getting CH3 CH3 MgX. That is the corresponding Grignard reagent. And here also, if I compare this with RCH2OH, what is the R group? R group is the cyclohexane, result of which the. Now let us do the next question. Write the structures of the following reactions. Hydration. So this is a unsymmetrical molecule, so the H plus will come onto this side and OH will come over this side. It is solution. If we have esters, we have to use LiAlH. Now the next question, here we have an aldehyde group, so that is converted to CH2OH group. The complete group will be there along with the in textual questions. So let us move on to the next part, that is first we have two methods. The first one is dehydration of alcohols. So alcohols have, if using it at a very high temperature of 443 Kelvin in the presence of H2SO4, we have already studied that we are getting ethene over there. But if I am using the same thing at 413 Kelvin, what is happening? We get, see the mechanism. So what is happening is that first we have CH3, CH2, OH plus H plus. Oxygen is rich in electron, so what is happening? It is going to take up the H plus, and as a result of which we get this particular molecule. Now what is going to happen? Another molecule of alcohol is going to react with this. Now we have this OH. This O is having electrons, so this is going out as water. So now this group is attached to this group, and as a result of which we get CH3CH2O with a single electron, that is, it's a free radical. Sorry, it is having a positive charge now, and we have H here and CH2CH3 over here. So to become stable, this hydrogen is moving out as H plus, and now we are getting the corresponding ether over here, right? No need of studying the mechanism, but for the board students, for the board examination, this is important. Simple si baat. First thing is we have to treat it with an H plus. Second step, we have to treat it with the same alcohol again, and in the next step we have to deprotonate. That's the method that is happening. Protonation here, formation of carbocation in the next step, and in the last step we have deprotonation. That will give us the corresponding product. Let us now move on to the next one, but before that we have a paragraph here, and this is important. Alkene is also associated with substitution reaction to give an ether. This method is suitable for the preparation of ethers having primary alkyl groups only. We need only primary alkyl groups out this particular reaction. The alkyl group should be unhindered and the temperature should be kept low. This is important. Temperature should be low. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Otherwise, it will favor the formation of alkene. Now, the reaction follows SN1 pathway. This is important. SN1 pathway. When the alcohol is going to result in elimination, and that will result in the formation. That's why we are not carrying out this process here. But we are not going to carry out SN1. SN1 will happen if there is secondary. So we are restricting this to primary alcohols, because primary alcohols will favor two mechanism as we have studied, right? SN2 mechanism order, reactivity order we have studied yesterday. Primary greater than secondary greater than tertiary. So what happens? The primary, if only primary alkyl groups are present, then that will favor SN2. And if there is SN2 mechanism, there is formation of ether. SN1 mechanism can result in elimination, and so that is not the desired product. Now talk about Williamson synthesis. In Williamson synthesis, we have taken RX and RONA, sodium. So here what is happening? I'll highlight. So always go by the mechanism like this, otherwise it is going to be difficult. So first of all, we have CH3, CCH3, CH3, ONA. This is treated with CH3Br. So as we know, this oxygen is electronegative, so it will try to donate the electron to the methyl group, and as a result of which this bromine is going to pull the electrons from the methane, because now this bromine will say that you are getting enough from oxygen, so why do you need my electrons? So it is going to take up the electron, and this is going to move out as Br minus. Now what is going to happen? This part is going to join with this, and as a result of which we have CH3O, CCH3, CH3, CH3, and Na is also going to move out. This part is also going to move out, and this CH3 is going to attach over here. Sorry, this CH3 is going to attach onto this oxygen atom. So we get the corresponding ether over here. Better results are obtained if alkyl halide is primary. This is important. If we have a primary alkyl halide, then the result is better. But if we are having a tertiary alkyl halide, what is happening? Let us. In that particular case also, we have electron. Here what is happening is that the alkene is the reaction product and formed. So this, and as a result of which there is beta elimination reaction happening over there, and as a result of beta alkene over here. Also they are out beta elimination also. If there is a possibility for beta elimination, the result, as a result of that, we can get alkenes also. So phenols also can be converted into ethers by this method. Here we are going to take it as phenoxide, and now this phenoxide is treated with Rx. So now this NaX is moving out and we get the corresponding ether over here. The physical properties of carbon, what is happening? When of carbon is happening, the increases, right? But compared to alkyl, point is hydrogen bonds between the water molecules. So let us discuss some of the important. Which of the following reagents can be used to oxidize primary alcohols? We have not discussed yet, so let us keep it on a hold. This we have not discussed. Let's move on to the next question. Second question is, RCHO means it is an aldehyde. So aldehyde should be converted into corresponding alcohol. If we have to convert aldehyde into alcohol, we can use hydrogen in the presence of palladium. We can use NaBH4. We can use reaction with RMGX followed by hydrolysis will give us secondary alcohol. This will give us secondary alcohol. So that is not possible because we need a primary alcohol here. So we need a primary alcohol over here. LiAlH4 can also be used. So this is a multiple exemplar. The answer should be 1, 2 and 3. Let us see the next question. Which of the following reactions will yield phenol? So if we look at the first question, first option here, we have fusion with NaOH at 300 atmosphere. Yes, this is going to give us phenol. Now here treating it with NaNO2 in the presence of HCl, this is known as diacetization, and after that we are treating it with warm water. Yes, we will get phenol over here. Next we are going to treat it with oleum. We are getting benzene sulfonic acid, and that is treated with NaOH on heating will give us phenol. Next we have chlorobenzene, that is treated with NaOH at 298 Kelvin. No, this is wrong because we need nearly 623 Kelvin is needed. Let us now move on to the next question. We have to arrange the following in the increasing order of boiling point. Very simple question. First step, we have to count the number of carbon atoms. So when we're counting the number of carbon atoms, we have 3 here, 4, 4 and 5. So we are asked the increasing order. So least will be for propan 1-ol. It cannot be pentan 1-ol. So these two options are eliminated. Now Maximum is for pentan 1-ol, and now the problem is with the 4 carbon, which has more branching. Butan 2-ol has more branching, and as a result of which that is going to have lesser boiling point. So this should be the answer. Answer is option number 1. Let us move on to the next question. Which of the following compounds will react with soda? Next part. Which of the following alcohol? Chapter. In the next lecture, we will be discussing the chemical properties. The chemical properties and reactions of alcohols, phenols, and ethers. So, see you again in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye and happy learning.